Hi there guys, and welcome to a new video. Now this is my kind of almost 5 month Aupair in China update video. I know I totally skipped over 3rd and 4th month just because the 3rd month I was traveling to Hong Kong and refreshing my visa. Then last month I don't even know what happened last month, why I didn't do it. But anyway, you may notice I'm in a different location. That's because on April 17th I came to a new family in Shenzhen and I left my previous host family in Hangzhou. Now, I felt towards the end of my journey with the host family in Hangzhou, things were improving, and I felt that definitely I was getting, being able to come across the girl and be able to talk to her more, and things were improving. However, there were some days that it was still very hard. Now, I wrote this letter to the host family, my first host family, but I never gave it to them. And I think I might still give it to them one day, but it's all in English and I translated it into Chinese. You can't see. So that's the English part and that's the Chinese part. And I was thinking maybe I'll try and print it out and send it to them one day. So it was just like expressing my feelings and kind of just, saying what I felt while living in the family. On the 19th of March, I remember that day I came back from Westlake, and at that time I was kind of feeling like, I'm just going to try my best, but I don't think I want to extend with this family because they just don't feel that things were right. But I remember that day, 19th of March, I came back from Westlake and I was talking to the host girl in the room, and then I remember later on I walked downstairs and I heard the host mum and the aunt, like the lady that was cooking, like kind of like a nanny, but the lady that was in charge of cooking and cleaning, talking, and they were saying that to the host girl that, oh, you didn't talk to Emma one bit, or I didn't hear you say anything to Emma today or talk to Emma. And I felt really angry, and I just felt that, hey, they just presumed that we didn't talk at all, but we had just been talking in the room, and just because they didn't see it doesn't mean it didn't happen. And I was just kind of like taken back when I heard them say it, even though they said in Chinese, because my Chinese is pretty good and I can understand and communicate using Chinese pretty well. So when I heard that, I was quite angry, but I was like, whatever. And so sometimes it has to be two ways, because sometimes I'll try and talk to the host girl and she'll just be like, yeah, and not really respond back to me. However, starting on the 21st of March is when I started writing this letter to the host family. I felt that things were improving and the host girl was more open to me talking back, and she would ask me things and warming up to me, and kind of like at the beginning when I first came, she would like ask me a few things and I'll like talk back to her, but there was still definitely times where I felt that she didn't like talking to me and she would try and avoid conversations. It could have just been that she was busy or stressed from school, whatever, so I totally understand, but I just felt maybe I'd taken that too personally. Over my last week, the 3rd of April, I felt that things were going down again, and then the host girl didn't want to talk to me much, and on the 5th of April when they came home from school, I tried talking to the host girl, but she seemed really annoyed and that she didn't want to talk to me. Maybe the timing wasn't right, or yeah, but that past week she just didn't really want to talk to me, and I said I didn't know if I did something wrong, but a few times I tried talking to her and she would just got really upset. And then on the 11th of April she came home from school and I tried talking to her, and then she had like a VIP kids lesson and an English lesson on the computer, and then after she finished that I tried talking to her, and then she kind of just felt really annoyed, and then after that we got called down for dinner, and when we got called down for dinner, she looked at me really angry and upset and was saying to me like, don't come here, go over there. And then the next day she like bumped my arm, and when we were walking to school she was running away and trying to avoid me. And this really like spoiled my whole day, and I really felt upset because, you know, I felt things were improving kind of 19th of March, the end of kind of mid-March-ish. But then I felt that things were kind of going downhill again, and I don't know, I just felt really upset because I was leaving soon and I really wanted to make an effort. So basically this is my timeline in Hangzhou. First beginning was mainly with the host boy, and then afterwards it was a bit more with the host girl, and then again towards the end it was more with the host boy. Like a week or so before I left, or maybe a couple of days before I left, we would go outside and play badminton together. And before I left that family, I wrote both the kids like an English kind of review sheet. I'll insert them here, but blur out their names for privacy reasons. And I still keep in touch with the teacher, which I found out her name recently, like their home teacher, and I sent them some books. I ordered some English books like from the Curriculum Council in Australia, and I sent them those books, and then I also bought them some books as gifts for the children. But yeah, I left that family with kind of, you know, open eyes to this whole experience, and definitely have grown myself. Yeah, so I wrote this big long letter, and I said, all in all, I was some benefit to the family, even if it was just, you know, watching the car for the grandpa when the kids were out to events, or helping them look after their dog, taking their dog for a walk. But one thing I found about that family is I didn't find them that supportive. Like I wrote, let's do this activity this day, let's do this activity this day, I want to do all these activities with the kids, that way, you know, we can interact and bond. And I just felt that the family wasn't really supportive around this whole thing, and they weren't really supportive about it. Only one time the teacher said to the kids, okay, learn English from Emma, and then we played hangman, and that there was a really good interaction. I mentioned that in my previous 2-month update. And then one time, yeah, I tried to play Uno with them. Maybe I didn't take enough initiative, but I did try. They said I'll prepare something, and then I'll be like, oh, do you want to do this activity? And then the kids would come and be like, oh, no, I don't want. Or like when I tried in Hainan, they would just be like, I'll read them a book, and once I finish reading the book, they'll just be like, oh, go out, and just like tell me to go out and leave. And I just felt maybe if the family was a bit more supportive, even if it was just once a week, and just said to the kids, okay, set aside an hour or a couple of hours a week, and we could just do an activity, and it would just make me happy, and we could interact, and we could do this activity, and it would be a lot better. Because even like the previous au pair, one of their previous au pairs said to me like, just play Uno or something, and I think, yeah, you can play Uno, that's interacting with them, but is the English really gonna grow from that if they already know how to play Uno? Because I did try play Uno with them once, and they were speaking in Chinese, so I'm like, that's not really beneficial. I'd rather do stuff like hangman, or plan like Pictionary, or plan to make lava lamps, or what else, like origami, where I could like talk to them and teach them things, and then they could like learn something new, like a new game or something, and also learn English. But anyway, that's in the past now. And as I said, on the April 17th, April 15th, I left that family, I went to Macau, and then I went over to Hong Kong, and then April 17th, I came over here, back to Shenzhen, back to China and Shenzhen, and it was a different experience from the start. A lot better than the first family. So once I got off the train, took the high-speed rail from Hong Kong over to Shenzhen, and I missed my first train, so I had to take another one. And actually quite a lot of people miss their train because you have to go through customs, which they don't tell you. Like, they should tell you be there like 2 hours in advance or something, or an hour and a half. And there's literally only maybe 2 people, like 2 or so people working in the customs line, and a lot of people missed their train. So anyway, that's another story. So I came over here, and the agent, my LCC and another lady from the agency picked me up. Then we took a taxi and came over the host family's house. The host dad wasn't home, neither were the kids or the host mom. Only the Ipo, which is like a great aunt, so it's like the dad's aunt. And the Waigong Waipo, the Waigong and Waipo is the mother's, your mother's father and mother. So in Chinese there's 2 different words for grandparents. Grandparents on your mother's side and grandparents on your father's side have different names. Anyway, they were home, so we kind of came here, and they like, the security had to let us in, and then they like showed me around the room. We talked a bit, and then the kids came home and they had like a balloon for me and cake, and then I tried interacting with them, and LCC's like, oh, try, you can like talk to them a bit more. And then a bit later on she's like, yeah, you're doing good with the interaction, maybe try and speak a bit louder so they'll be interested. And then we did that, and yeah, we had like cake, and we had did I say balloons? Kids came with flowers and like a cake, and then we went for a walk around the complex, like this community, and we saw like where the kids' school is, and we're like, there's little shops and the lake and everything. And then we came home, and we had, on my LCC left, and then we had dinner, and like we had wine, and the hostess like, welcome to our family, and stuff like that. And this family is just so nice. Like every time we go out, they always like buy me an ice cream or yogurt, or like every time they buy one for the kids, they always buy me one. And the host dad like has given me a few dresses and some other things like that. And for my birthday, they bought me a cake and gave me some money. And yeah, I just feel a lot more welcome into this family. And then they're more supportive of kids learning English. Every day they'll say to the kids, look, learn English with Emma, and then you can get a prize. So like seaweed or stickers and stuff like that. And I taught them how to say, I want seaweed. The only issue is with these kids, they're still very stuck on learning, speaking Chinese, because they're still very beginner level English. So when I first, although it's improving, when I first came, they would say, Emma, 我要海苔, like I want seaweed. And I had to teach them say, I want, what do you want? I want seaweed, I want seaweed. And eventually they would learn to say that. And I think because I understand Chinese, they'll speak Chinese to me, but I would say it in English, or they'll be like, Emma 抱, now they'll say, Emma 抱我, like Emma hug me, like pick me up, and I'm like, pick you up, or like, just things like that. They still speak in Chinese sometimes, but they're getting a bit better. Like now they can say, Emma help me, before they'll say, Emma 帮我, or be like, Emma 我要, like, and I'll be like, what do you want? I want, or like, 我喜欢, and be like, I like. So now they're able to say like, Emma help me, I want balloon, or I want seaweed. I mean, they learn at school as well, but now they're a bit more open to speaking English to me. And like the older girl will be like, yaki, whenever we walk into school, we see like this, I think it's some sort of fruit, it's fallen on the floor, and she'll be like, oh, Emma help me. Even the younger one says it now, it's so cute, it's like, Emma help me, or like, come here, or where are you, when we're playing hide and seek. Or when she wants to do piano, she say piano. So yeah, they're definitely supportive of that, although the kids are very naughty when I'm trying to teach them English, so I have to think of different ways to try and make it more fun. But yeah, so we started off doing flashcards, and now I'm trying to think of like maybe just doing a drawing or things like that, because they're still quite young. But yeah, and I get to take them to school, sometimes with the e-pour, sometimes by myself. Like, quite recently, the older host kid has been waking up late, so sometimes I'm taking her to school at like 9:30 or close to 10. I've missed out on Chinese lessons because of that. Sometimes the e-pour would take the younger one and I'll take the older one later, but like every day, Monday I pick up both of them, Tuesday is my day off, Wednesday I pick up one of them, and Thursday I pick up another one, and then Friday I pick them both up. So even on the way home from school, they're with me, so they're kind of like forced to speak English, and I'm forced to speak English to them. So I definitely see an improvement in that. Now I don't want this video to be too long, but recently my LCC asked me if I was thinking of extending, and last week when I went to Chinese class, she's like, do you want to extend? And I recently, my family came over early May, so I went to Beijing only for like basically 2 days. I left on the 2nd, came back on the 4th, but then there was but the 4th was basically just traveling, so I only had 1 day, like one full day and then a half day in Beijing, but that was fun. And recently I just came back from Guangzhou. I went over the Dragon Boat Festival, which was on Friday, so I was able to do a bit more traveling and see a bit more. But recently my LCCs asked me if I wanted to extend, and I was like, I thought about extending, I wouldn't mind extending, but I also want to see more of China. And recently I've just been a lot of thinking and just be like, do I really want to extend or do I want to go home? And my heart was telling me, go home, you know, you've done more than you imagined, you've done it, go home. And so recently these couple of days I've just been really thinking about, should I go home or should I stay? And today I finally made my decision, and I said, okay, I'm gonna leave China. As much as I want to see more of China, I think my time's up here, and I really think that I should go home. Although I'm not really going home, I might be going to Taiwan first and then going home, and I hope to be home maybe September so I can attend my graduation. So that is basically my 3 or 4 month update video. As I said, I'm coming up to my 5-month update video, and I'll definitely try and do a 6-month update video and update you guys on what's happening in my life. And I'm sorry I haven't got many vlogs out. I've got a lot of vlogs. I vlog like every week when I go out on Tuesdays, and I vlog like every day in Guangzhou. I just haven't got into editing them yet, but I will do that soon. And yeah, I also will do another video where I talk about my experience and what it's like living in China and what I've noticed living in China, and also maybe a video with basic words I think you need to know in order to visit or live in China, because out of all the Aupairs I've met in Shenzhen, I'm the only one that can speak Chinese. And I know this because I went to an event recently and they were like, can anyone speak Chinese? And I kind of put my hand up, and then the 2 people from the agency were like, oh, no one, oh actually Emma, and they're like, Emma, help us translate, just kind of like joking around. I'm like, oh, it's a tough gig. And then I kind of like did like a tiny little snippet of translation. I was just like, oh yeah, 5,000 years, and everyone was like impressed that you could speak Chinese. I was like, yeah, that's because I learned. My mom's from Taiwan and I learned when I was little, and I did attend one Chinese class and it was really beginner, and I found it too easy. Like, it was going over like bo, po, mo, fo, de, te, ne, le, de, te, he, ge, ke, he, ji, ci, si, like that sort of thing. And I found it like a revision, but I was so used to saying it with like you have to say it with no tone, and I'm used to saying it with tone. And then we went like, ni hao, and then he asked, oh, what's teacher? And I said, lao shi. And then he said, what is goodbye? And I said, zai jian. And then the other 2, one of the Au Pairs like, oh yeah, I heard that before. and then we learned like, oh, fei, and I was like, oh yeah, that's flying, and I just found it too basic. So now I'm going back to learning HSK4, and I'm doing some writing, which I need to improve on because my Chinese, as I said, I can communicate in Chinese and I can understand pretty well, but my reading and writing is shocking. Like, if I was to do a test, I could probably only understand like really basic, maybe kindergarten level words. I actually might do another video soon about that and just like write all the Chinese characters I know, which is not a lot. So anyway, see you guys in my next video, and thanks for watching. Bye.